Hey family, happy Sunday. Welcome to episode 19 of Fancy Thoughts. Now you'll notice I actually posted this on Live Fancy Life Instagram and Facebook. It's coming. There are some great things that are in the works, and you will be able to fully take advantage of more of the offerings and the whole business behind Live Fancy Life. And so I figured it's time to get started now and at least start getting some content out there. For all of you who've already started following my Instagram page or accepting me as a friend on Facebook, thank you. I look forward to sharing a lot of ideas and great opportunities with you coming very soon. And until then, we're going to keep doing these fancy thoughts to one, keep it in front of you, and two, to hope to continue to help you to express and to release the greatness that's on the inside of you. So if this is your first time listening, or as a friendly reminder, my name is Francesca Hampton. I am the creator of Live Fancy Life. Fancy, fostering achievement, never compromising you, where we want you to live a life where you recognize the greatness that's on the inside of you, and that it was created for someone that is specifically attuned to the way that you do what you do, and they are waiting for you to release that greatness. So until everything is as open and available and as possible, I keep bringing you fancy thoughts. Again, fostering achievement, never compromising you thoughts to help you to think on things a little bit differently, give you a new perspective, or hopefully just inspire you to be great this week. So in this week's episode of Fancy Thoughts, I have two great things I've been looking forward to sharing with you. The first one I developed in both of which came through some conversations with some great people. And they were just things that I definitely wanted to make sure that I shared with the larger group. So the first one, don't despise pressure. What do I mean by that? Many times when we are under pressure or in the midst of pressure, and what I mean by pressure is, when you're challenged on every side, when, you are in the middle of doing something and it seems very difficult, or it seems you're reaching or feeling a lot of opposition, where you're getting a lot of opposition, or you're just feeling like the whole experience is extreme. Right. And so a lot of times our first response is take the pressure off, or if it's pressure, if it's hard, it must not be right. But sometimes the very thing that is for you, the very thing that is going to be the catalyst to help you to step into the greatest level or season of your life, it often requires you to go through a period of time where there's an extreme amount of pressure, where there may be an extreme amount of discipline, determination, and dedication required. And most importantly, in the middle of that pressure, character is being developed. In the middle of that pressure, the very being or the very essence of who you are is continuing to be developed and to grow. Because the next season, the next step, the next area that you're in requires what you're going through right now to be developed. If you were to go forward into the next area without having developed the character and the stamina and the determination that's being developed in you right now, you would not succeed. It would be even harder for you. It would be less enjoyable for you, and it would take longer because you hadn't developed the thing that was necessary for that new season. And so with all of that, I'm just saying, don't despise the pressure. Recognize it as an opportunity to grow. Recognize it as there are areas within you that are being developed that cannot be developed any other way. It's just like they say, be careful when you pray for patience, because patience is developed in scenarios where patience is required. And so as you're stepping out into that next level or preparing to go into greater depths of your success or greater depths of your business or greater depths into your dreams, recognize that the pressure you're experiencing is required for you to step into the greatness of your dreams. All right. And the second fancy thought is make sure or reevaluate your definition of success. Again, in another great conversation with a friend of mine, we were talking about what success really means. And many times we determine our success by metrics that involve numbers, metrics that involve outside influences, let me just say it that way. And although there you may be trying to get to a certain goal, specifically if you're whatever your goal or whatever your dream or whatever your the thing that you're trying to accomplish, if it requires, a subscription, or it requires, consumers in some way, you want to drive and you want to determine that success by how many, or how much. But I want to challenge you for just a moment. When you determine your success simply by something that is absolutely outside of your control, it allows you to become disappointed when things don't go, or when you don't see the numbers lining up in the way that you plan them. For example, let's say that you decide to open up a business, and you determine that your success will be measured by the number of customers that you have within 3 months. Let's say that you are determining you will have 50 customers in 3 months, and 10 of them will be, annual subscribers or return customers, or what have you. So if that doesn't happen, does that mean you weren't successful? Not necessarily. Because everything that we do isn't always measured by a number, because a number requires another person to make a decision. So I encourage you, although you still want to drive towards certain metrics, because that's going to also determine how feasible or financially stable your business is. But your overall success has to also be tied to you knowing that you did everything that you could, that you put your very best forward, and that you stepped out in doing the very thing that you were designed to do. If your success, again, is determined by what other people will do, you are opening yourself up for disappointment and for discouragement. You have to have a level of success that is not dependent on the response of someone else. There has to be some moment where you say, even if my business did not go the way that I intended it to, in some area I was still successful because I put forth a great business. I put forth an awesome product. I did it with integrity. I did it with stamina. I did it with, I fulfilled the purpose that I intended with this business, with this venture, with this, whatever it may be. And that might be a little hard to swallow, and you may not necessarily agree with me, but I can tell you that if you don't have something that is simply tied to you being your very best, again, you open yourself up for disappointment and discouragement when it is tied to something that you cannot control. So, to recap, don't despise the pressure, and reevaluate your definition of success. I hope that you're able to use these fancy thoughts throughout this week, or at least allow them to give you a new perspective on the things that you approach this week. And if not for you, make sure that you share this with someone else who may be encouraged, be motivated, or rather inspired by these words. As always, these are available for you on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And I truly hope that you continue to be inspired, to be great, and to release the greatness that's on the inside of you. Remember, you are well able, fully capable, and properly equipped to handle everything that you were created for this week. So make it a great one.